He's an Elite Series rookie from Oklahoma, John Sokup.
End of day 2 practice, and it rained again. It's not supposed to rain, and it rained again. Sabine River, the beautiful Orange, Texas. It's gotta be the coolest thing. We are in the brackish water. Orange, Texas is right off the Gulf, I guess. So you're really close to Houston and Galveston and all that. So you got refineries and oil pipelines everywhere. It's a maze of water back in all these different canals and bayous and marshes and really thin water, something good for the expresses. Running really shallow stuff. So that's where we're at. It's the 5th tournament of the Elites. We shut this one down after this. No, it's the 6th tournament. And then we head north for the final 3 tournaments. Day 1, I found a few bites, but they were all averaging 2 pounds. I don't know if I can get a limit. Day 2, today, different area, a lot more bites, but the weight's a lot less. So right now I'm gonna go in and eat, relax, rest, sleep on it, and tomorrow I'm gonna make a decision whether I'm gonna go back to the bigger fish area, try to expand on that, or go to the smaller fish area and try to figure out how to get bigger bites in that area. Definitely think that I don't know the answer. That's what I think. So it's going to be a little bit of a coin toss, guessing game, because you can make the right guess, but then 10 other people can have that same decision in their mind, and then it makes it even more complicated. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sitting here thinking, well, just being around a lot of fish might be smarter. But I haven't really figured out how to trigger a bigger bite amongst those smaller fish. But we are catching fish. We are getting bit. So it's just going to all be about, I think check range is going to be about 7.5 pounds a day. That's it. So I want to at least come in with 8 pounds a day. 10 pounds a day gets you a top 10, and 12 pounds a day will win this tournament. So definitely going to keep pushing and shooting for that 10-pound mark per day.
Talk about what you have for dinner.
Well, Travis brought his wife this week, and well, today, and I've been living with Eeyore here, and he ain't cooking, so he comes in at about like right now, 10 o'clock at night, and then he leaves at 3 in the morning to go fishing, so I don't even see him. This is the first time that he and I have seen each other. We've been here for 2 days. This is no lie. We've had 2 days practice. The first time he and I have laid eyes on each other. And we've been in this house because I come up. This is a good one. These are Sokupisms. John Sokupisms. You ask John, hey, what time you want to get up in the morning? 5. So the Sokupism is that actually means be ready to walk out the door at 4:30 a.m. If he tells you 5, he's walking out that door at 4:30. So if you set your alarm for 5, you get up and he's already gone. And been gone for a while, so Sokupism.
A little bit of truth to that.
There's a lot of truth to it. So that's the only canal there. And then nobody caught him out of this thing.
Hackney caught him out of this one.
Hackney won out of this one.
Yeah, that's the one that's so full of grass right now.
Right.
And it all connects together.
I know, but I'm saying that this, nobody really caught him in.
I buzz baited through this real quick and caught up fish. It looks pretty. So from here, this is really tons of hydrilla, but from about right here, all this, and all this right here, and all this back here, there's hydrilla. Now this is not as junky hydrilla as this. This is nice, healthy, and it's like spaced out.
This is healthy.
Yeah.
This is junky. This is the one I was talking about that had like literally 20 boats in it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't gone in there yet.
And then there's only one more.
Just below it.
Or right above it.
Yeah. I got sleep in my eyes right here. Oh, look, there it was. I wiped it out. There we go.
That's how he wakes up.
Take it off.
Hey, did you put in a takeoff yesterday? Or did you put all it in that backed out canal?
I put it in the takeoff.
Back canal be okay too, or not?
Yeah.
I wonder if that you got to pay to put in there.
Probably. I don't know. There's a restaurant there.
Yeah.
So, you know, back in the wall.
Sleight of hand tricks. So I ignored my good intention. Called that number anyway. The doctor on the line said she'd get me in that day. Dr. Juice, Sister Squeeze, Dr. Juice, Sister Squeeze.
Nada. I was gonna win this tournament, but my guy Ganelli stole my day 3 practice spot. This thing's gonna fish super small. Those guys that have figured out how to get away from boats, are gonna have a big advantage if they can get 5 keeper bites a day.
Squeeze me till I pop.
Is Vassar like, what is that little midget guy that's on Instagram that looks like he's 4 years old but he's really 20?
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah. These are Hezbollah bass. I mean, he looks like he's like 6 months old, right? I went into Taylor's day 1, and I found a spot right off the bat, caught 3 2-pounders. I'm gonna go run some of these canals. I mean, I got one that I got some bites in, but they're probably gonna be like 15 boats in there.
I was tripping like a baboon on the Serengeti.
I guess I should say that more often, right? Golly. Was that timing or what? He ain't even gonna go 12 inches. He ain't even gonna go 12. Little pretty little thing.
Put the rhythm in my feet. Dr. Juice. Sister Squeeze. I'm Dr. Juice.
Oh man, he almost broke my finger.
Sister Squeeze.
It's 9 a.m. and I have caught four fish, biggest being maybe 10 inches. You know, the water's up, we got high tide. The river's not even moving at all, it's just calm, slick. Yesterday I got some bites around some cypress, flipping, but also a couple good bites chatterbaiting when the water was falling. There's bait everywhere. So what I'm doing is taking this little buzz bait and I'm just covering these cypress knees and the cypress trees. And there's definitely some bass up in it. I have not been able to catch a keeper doing it. But I imagine if you did it all day that you'd get 5 eventually. So I'm gonna do it a little bit more in practice. This practice trying to eliminate stuff, figure out if this is the way to get bit or not. Oh, bro, this is a 13 incher. 13 inchers. Watch out of this box. Yeah. So guess what? You can catch a keeper doing this. I think he's gonna weigh 0.9 to 1. Oh, 103. Beating my expectations. So. Every time I've slowed the boat down, we've got bit. 160. only the second keeper of the day, you know that? About every 2 hours, no matter where I'm at, if I've been unsuccessful, I change patterns or locations and just try new things out all day long. And started working up a canal, and I got into another little sidebar canal. It's just, I mean, it's hydrilla or whatever this is, milfoil, one of the two, all the way up to the surface everywhere. And I've been kind of avoiding that. I don't know why, but I just haven't been able to get bit in it very well. And so I decided to slow down and just see what happens if I just keep frogging around. And yeah, I got one blow up on it.
If you could wire me some money, well, I'll be home. Yeah.
Basically right where we thought he should be, and he could have come off easy. Is he a 14 incher? 13. Get by. 119. Day 3 is winding down. I'm gonna get pushed off of this with the storm that's right behind us. I'm fishing as fast as I can, and I saved this area to the end of the day because I wanted to settle in at the end of the day and see what I could catch out of it. And we're gonna get run off by a rainstorm. So it's gonna make my decision for day 1 a little bit harder, a little bit more guesswork, but gonna get back at it, see what we can catch.
Have you been bit on those paths out in the river very much? Out in front of those cypress trees?
Not very much at all.
They're all the way, the fish are all the way to the bank out there. They're like all the way.
All the way to the banks. Well, that's the only way I was catching them today. I only weighed 4 keepers today.
I had one on a crankbait pull loose, I hooked, and it felt like a decent fish. And I think it was a bass. And it ate off of a tree the way a bass would eat. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a shallow tree. It was one of those dead stumps out in front of the cypress trees out on Main River, you know? Mm-hmm. So if you see any isolated targets and you're out there, work them over.
I did today. I flipped on one. I forgot what comment I made. I said, I think I'm about done with this. And I just hit the hook. Dogfish. Boat 74 tomorrow. So I got a 4 o'clock weigh-in. So I have a 3:30.
What flight's that put us in?
3rd flight.
So tomorrow's our long day.
Tomorrow's our long day.
And then so we got 4 o'clock weigh-in tomorrow, and then we'll have what, 3:30?
Day 2. So here's my dilemma. Dude, you only caught 2 keepers in that good canal, and you spent a lot of time back in that?
No, I had a couple more.
Okay.
And I could have, but what I found back there is typical river isolated. I could have caught some more fish, but there's a reason they're there, and it's obvious. And this is the Elite Series. And there's going to be a boat on every one of those little spots back there. And if there's water moving in or out, there's going to be fish sitting there. Yeah. But then they're going to get caught, and you're going to run all the way back there, and there's going to be boats sitting on it. You're not going to get it at boat 70-something. I'm not getting in there. I'm not.
Did you go in the lake?
Yeah, I went to the back of the lake.
Did you go in the canal in the back?
Absolutely.
Caught 2 in there last night.
That's where they're at.
And then,
well, they're in every one of them, though. So the center canal, they're in it. If you're facing the center canal, like you're going to go in, on the left-hand corner where the logs are, and the creek goes back in there, they're in it. And they're also in the one on the right. There's a creek to the right, a creek to the left.
Some of the little bitty creeks on the side.
Little bitty things.
Yeah. That one in the back's pretty, that clean water.
Yeah.
Did you fished all the way to that thing that?
Yep.
Yeah, I caught one right off of that. I threw over it and caught one over it too.
And I think that's what they're talking about in those rules. We can't jump
drive
over
your boat, but you can cast over it.
That's what I think
Yeah.
they're talking about.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I was like,
I think you could sit your boat in that canal right there and catch a limit. It'd take you all day long, but I think you could do it.
as long as the water kept moving, I think you catch a limit. I think so too.
Is that water being pumped in? Because it's clean water.
So
coming
what
out.
size were the fish that you saw there? Because I caught a couple out there.
I caught a 160. That was the biggest one.
Both my fish that I saw in there, that I caught in there, were 13 inches. You caught a 160 out of it?
I caught a 130 and a 160. So 7.5 pounds worth of fish. Was that big gator there on the right when you went in there?
No, but that bite I had on the frog that I think is a grinnell was just the right before I came in. There's duckweed up underneath those cypress trees.
You know those cypress trees, all that shallow stuff way back in there looks like this big?
Yeah,
I caught some bass back in there too.
that's where that bite was.
But that's where the grinnells were today too, is in that shallow
I
stuff.
agree. The grinnells are like this.
God, they're fun, dude. If it wasn't bass tournament time.
I think that, but like what I was saying, I think that those were good spots. I felt like when I found them, I thought the same thing you thought. I thought, if this canal has got biting fish right now on day 3 of practice,
Yeah, I wasn't there last night, caught two.
it's because there's 60 foot of water right in front of the mouth of it.
And fish are just funneling in.
Fishing coming and going.
They can go all the way up that creek and come back down.
Yep.
I can't imagine first thing in the morning on that little.
And that's what I thought too. I wasn't there first thing in the morning. I was there in the mid-morning, like close to noon. And I was thinking, but first thing in the morning, this thing pops off. But dude, boat 73, you run all the way back there and there's going to be a boat sitting in it.
By the time you get back there past other boats, what, you think it'd take you 30 minutes to get back to it? You have to stop and idle by everybody and be respectful. And
Yeah.
it could, right?
God. I mean, it
20
could.
minutes?
It could if you had to idle all the way back there.
Yeah. See, I ran all the way to the restaurant and I idled back from there.
If you draw boat 1, you run to the corner, come off pad at the restaurant, the boat ramp, put it back on pad, run all the way to the bridge,
Yeah.
come off pad at the no wait sign,
I think that whole
and
rest
then
of
idle,
the
and
island,
then
the
jump
whole
up on the lake, and you'd be sitting at the mouth of it. I guess you can run the lake.
I figured you couldn't. That's the only, I don't know if the no wake was for the bridge or who's after it. Did you get?
The no wait's got to be for that campground.
Did you get any more bites anywhere else down through that? All
Didn't
that
get any
creeks?
bites out on the main lake part of it.
The main river part of it?
No, the main lake, the square.
Oh yeah,
deal.
me neither.
There's another creek. So you come out of the lake and it enters back in the canal. Campground's on your right. And right before you make the right-hand turn on your left-hand side, that's another drain coming in.
Yeah.
And I got bit there.
At the end of the day, I blew down the canal part where the power lines are at. It's only like 3 foot. It's got a drill all in it,
Yeah.
and I caught one in there. What was that? Like a 130 or 160?
Late in the day you went down it?
Yeah.
In the middle of the day we're down through the power lines?
Yeah, 4 o'clock right before we got out the water. I mean, I flew down too. I was blown because the storms are coming in, so I was just going
How'd you catch it?
on a frog. I will tell you this: I caught 2.
How much have you fished in that stretch?
Blew down it probably.
20, if that.
That whole long distance, maybe I was there for 30 minutes. I mean, I went that whole distance. So I trolling motor.
So when you say whole distance, you start at the
I started at the
very end
main lake.
of it?
And
Very
came,
end of
and
it.
came in.
And you fished all the way into where the island is and then cut through?
Yeah. We're about to there. We stopped about 100 yards short.
There were guys fishing this morning when I come in there that were down that stretch, but now they weren't there very long.
I was telling Travis right before I caught the fish, I was like, dude, look at this. This whole back area, but especially, I think if you just went up and down this for 8 hours, you would have 5 keepers.
You probably would.
Too much hydrilla, too much current going in and out. It's too.
Yeah. And it's narrow and it's shallow.
Yeah.
What I was telling you about, we're talking about the current and the fact the water's not moving, you're going to notice it there and you're going to get bit in those narrow places because the water's moving.
Oh. The worst thing that I think could happen though is I go to the canal, don't do very good, decide to pull the plug when Taylor's, and I get that anxiety all day long. You know that, and don't fish good because I'm fishing too dang fast. I like the area where you fish today, that whole canal. If I wanted to just pull the plug and say I'm just going to go settle in an area, I think you can catch 5 in that area, and I think you could end up catching good ones.
I think you could too, and I feel the same way. And when I started in there this morning, I'm like, I'm going to stay in here all day. But dude, at noon, I had to go back there to the back and get those bites like what you got back there. And I'm just telling you, that's not going to exist for us. It's not going to exist for us. We're not going to be able to get that.
But you never try to slow down and do any
Dude, I tried it all. I fished.
Cincos or...
So that winding thing that comes through there, I fished all of it, all the way through. When I got through, I ran into Palmer. He had gone all the way through it. He didn't have a bite.
Palmer's there. He's been in Taylor's.
Palmer was there today.
What did he say?
Well, when I saw him there, he didn't have a bite. Then he went on to the back towards the pond, and I went back out towards the front and started fishing that stuff that you were fishing there, that straight canal. And then I saw him a few hours later, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, any more bites?" And I said, "0." And he said I had 2 bites, or caught 1, shipped 2 off. I think that's what he said. And he said, "I probably should have stuck them." He said, "They're probably grinnell." And he went on.
Recap is it started out decent and it got good and then it progressively just got worse. So now I'm in a confused state about where to start, what to do. Got some fish found local that everybody probably has found. I'm probably going to kick myself to not at least go start and look at it. So I'm going to go look at it close, see if I can stay close. And this might be mixing my day up too much. If I'm catching them, stay. And if I can't catch them quickly, make a limit pretty quick, then I'm going to make a longer run. And the longer run is bigger fish, but it's not guaranteed bites. With the season I'm having, I mean, let's face it, even top 50 cat doesn't do anything for me. Like I need to actually swing for this thing and actually hit a little bit of at least a triple or a double or triple or something. So I really want to come in with 10 pounds. I really want to come in with 10 pounds. The tide's going to be really high all day long. So there's not going to be a lot of that flow out that we need to get bites. So that's going to actually very, very much hurt the weights. Very much. The other thing is the Netches is fishing really bad, the river is. And the main river is not fishing that great either. So it's historically guys that learn where the fish are at. And there's going to be a lot of us piled on top of each other. And that's going to hurt weights as well. So it's going to be the few that really catch them on day one that are going to get a big leap. It's going to be hard to make a comeback, but if you swing for 2 pounders and you connect, you can make a big jump in the standings. A 10-pound stinger is like a 20-pound stringer anywhere else. It basically doubles. So you catch a 5-pounder tomorrow, which that'll probably be big bass the whole tournament, 5 pounds. If you catch a 5-pounder, that's equivalent to most guys' sacks that they weigh in. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. And you think, well, fish small baits. For me, the bigger fish I've been catching, they're on full-size chatterbaits, full-size spinnerbaits, full-size frogs. My buzzbait's downsized a little bit just because I don't want it to be as loud. But full-size, like Hoodaddies, juniors. But I mean, they're like, full-size brush hog. I mean, that's not small. I'm catching bass that are the same size as this bait. Doing black and blues and stuff because there's a lot of crabs. I thought that, crabs mean black and blue. We saw crabs today, but they're brown and red, so I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm getting bit on that stuff. So wrapping up practice, it's really unique. The fishery is really unique in the tidal, the way the tidal and everything hits, in that it changes the fish's behavior. And you may, if it hits right one moment, you may be able to power fish, frog, chatterbait, just power fish. And the next moment, it just shuts completely off, and you just have to make that boat not move at all and just crawl your baits real slow. And so the guy that knows how to do that, I don't know when, okay, but the guy that's accustomed to this and knows already the adjustments that he needs to make ahead of time, like a hackney, can have a big advantage over the rest of us that don't. I'm going to have to learn on the fly, and hopefully I make those right decisions on the water at the right moment in time. For instance, one of the days I caught him really well on a wacky rig. So you think, okay, well, that's the pattern, just wacky rig everywhere. Well, I went wacky rigging today, and it was horrible. I didn't have no fish followed, nothing. And for some reason, I was catching them on a buzzbait and a frog, really, really shallow. Well, the water was up, and it was really calm. So I'm paying attention to these things. In the 3 days of this, I'm putting these notes together. Day one, I caught them really good. There was a lot of current that day. And all the bites that I got were on the tips of things, whether it was the pads or the wood or the grass. It was on the tip or out towards the current. So when you get a flow of any kind, these fish are really accustomed to turn on real quick. And that's when you can get aggressive and really target those current breaks and things of that nature. So that's going to be the thing, making adjustments. If we're going to do any good for the tournament, we're not going to just stumble into them. We're going to let everything settle in our mind, take all the environment, the tide, the boat pressure, and make the right decisions tomorrow on the water, and learn as we go. That's how we're going to do well.